All right. Welcome to another edition of Vegas Bad Boys of Podcasting. I'm DJ Impact, and I got a couple of the Vegas Bad Boys here with me. Got Sin City Steve and Matt Michaels. We don't have Simon Street tonight, but I'm thinking he'll be back next week. We'll see. And our live cast, we're actually starting a little late because, of course, we had the AEW Revolution pay-per-view. Looked like it was just going to keep going and going and going, but apparently, um, from what I've been hearing, it turned out to be a successful show. So we'll see if Sin City will throw any of those matches into any of our segments for tonight. All right. So with that, if you are watching us live, we always ask you to jump in on the comments. We're on Facebook Live, we're on Twitch Live, and of course on YouTube Live. And if you're listening to the podcast, which is released Monday mornings, thank you for downloading and for listening. Okay. So with that, we'll get right into our show. Let's kick it off with the four-way stop. All right, let's get going here. Four-way stop. How about for you, Sin City Steve? Kick it off. What was your highlight for the week?
All right, so AEW Revolution has come and gone, and still your AEW World Champion Hangman Adam Page, and still your Women's World Champion Dr. Britt Baker DMD, still your champions the Jurassic Express, Jungle Boy, and Luchasaurus. In fact, yes, there were no title changes on this show whatsoever. But I think what you're going to see as the main headlines coming out of this show, it's going to mainly be that Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley had a war. They bled together, and now they're going to evidently work together, as after the match, none other than William Regal came out, slapped both guys, and told them that they needed to work together. And evidently, this is now going to be a thing. And Moxley and Danielson are going to be rolling with William Regal. And I'm really interested to see where this is headed. Elsewhere on the show, you had Swerve Strickland officially signing his AEW contract right there on the pay-per-view.
Wow.
So it was a very, very solid show.
How was the reaction for Swerve when they saw?
Actually, dude, no joke. The people in attendance, they knew the Who's House, Swerve's house.
Okay.
They knew it. Like it was. He probably got one of the loudest pops and loudest engagements of the entire night. No shit.
That's because all your AEW. That's because all your AEW fans actually watch WWE.
That's because AEW fans watch good wrestling.
Wait. Did you just say AEW fans watch good wrestling, meaning the WWE is good wrestling?
Sure.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude, I've never shied away from giving WWE their props. Unlike you, who, if you ever say anything positive about AEW, I think that you'll probably keel over. So
well, let's go find something positive to say.
Well, you know what? This is your time, Matt Michaels. You got a few minutes. Tell us what's your four-way stop for this week.
Okay, well, we can get down to the nitty-gritty here with the Finn versus Priest and a new U.S. champ with Priest turning heel. Not bad at all. Good to see a little build up here. Maybe we'll get a pretty intense WrestleMania match, maybe. And as with the way we saw that happen, we also got to see Ciampa and Braun in matching singlets on NXT, which was a pretty fucking sweet visual. Who knew, except if you looked at his social media, that Ciampa is that stacked, It's pretty remarkable. But to see them going against Rude and Dolph, man, not bad. Not bad at all. And LA Knight, during his quick promo, talking about, having before he went to the ring, If you got a side piece, call them too, was his quote.
Yeah, I remember that.
So not bad at all. Some good stuff this week.
Yeah.
Everything was good except for the that one show that's on the one network, and then the other network. I forget what it's called.
Well, let me jump in there, man. My four-way stop for this week, man. Okay, you're gonna hear me talk about this show a lot, man. But Sacrifice that happened this past weekend was off the chain. That was Impact Wrestling, Impact Plus event. Jonah versus PCO. Now, listen, you would never even think when you hear those names of going, "Oh, for real? Or is that really going to be a good match?" No, these two went at it. And it's crazy because, first off, we're talking about PCO, who is 54 years old, Jonah, who's 33 years old, and PCO was putting in more work and doing crazier stuff than Jonah. Not taking nothing away from Jonah, but I'm just saying, when you watch the work of PCO, it takes ageism out of there. I mean, you cannot watch his work and not just be amazed at the moves and things that he did. And all of his most of his moves came from the top rope of all places. Okay. That match was just phenomenal. I enjoyed that. Another one, have to talk about the Ricochet match and Sami Zayn. I enjoy that match. I mean, despite the fact that Ricochet is your new Intercontinental Champion, I thought that was pretty well put together. Even before Johnny Knoxville came and got involved, I was really just into the match. I'm glad Ricochet's finally getting some respect on his name. I mean, he's always been some great talent. And we'll see what happens. I mean, the Intercontinental Champion, it doesn't have the same prestige as it used to have back in the day, but nevertheless, who knows? Ricochet could run with it and make it become popular again. Who knows? Not taking anything away from Shinsuke, but I'm just ready to see what happens is what it comes down to. So those were my four-way stops for the week. We got to get right into the two sweet for the week. All right, I'm going to go with you this time, Mr. Michaels. What was your too sweet for the week?
Well, I got to go off of your statement there. Ricochet for the IC win was pretty fucking awesome. And Finn for the US belt. So we got, two of the lower tiers changing at, in a week, which is surprising with WWE. But damn, man, that Edge and AJ stuff is going to be fucking amazing. We got a few weeks now that they get to build, pretty much a month, just over a month or so.
Right.
And with that intensity, man, this match is going to be something else.
Yeah.
It's interesting to think, like you were just saying, with PCO being 54, you're looking at AJ and Edge are not quite there yet, but are, within a decade of being that age. So this goes to show this might be their last chance to really have something that's impactful together, which is going to be very interesting to see. So, good setup. It's going to be pretty exciting. And again, you got to give a shout out to Ricochet for getting a chance at the IC belt. And, hopefully we don't ever see Apollo Crews with that belt again.
Come on.
And if you stick around and listen to 3 Count later on or tomorrow, when Vince McMahon talks about dead weight, Apollo Crews is on top of that list.
Oh, wow. All right. Let me jump in on this one. Going back to, again, the Sacrifice show. X Division title, Jake something versus Trey Miguel. I'm always amazed when I see Jake something in an X Division title match because he doesn't fit the profile. I mean, Trey Miguel weighs about 170, maybe 180 pounds. Jake something is over there about 250, 260. He can't do any of those types of moves that Trey Miguel is able to do, but he uses his size and his power to help dominate. And that was one of those matches that, you know, you're pretty sure Trey was going to come out on top, but Jake had you kind of going, I don't know, man, this guy might end up pulling this off. Overall, it was a great match, and Trey did retain the title. And then we come to find out the news after it was over that Jake something's contract was up, and apparently he hasn't re-signed yet. So I hear he left on good terms. So I'm sure he'll find something or just be back. You know, and there's a place for him in the wrestling community. My other one from the same show, Sin City, Steve, you know, you've told me many of times there are certain matches I just have to watch. It just matches in the past, maybe something in New Japan or something. The Switchblade Jay White versus Alex Shelley. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. We ain't seen Alex Shelley like I don't know how long since he, you know, separated himself. And this match was just, let me just tell you, Michaels, when this match was over, I have never seen an entire audience stand up with an ovation, including the commentators. No one had no words. Everybody was just clapping because everything that you were watching was just kind of like, whoa, oh my God, what just happened? It was just constant hitting left and right. That's to me is the match of the entire week. You know, it could end up being, and I'm just, you know, come on, man, we only 3 months in, but you know, it would be in the running for match of the year. You know, that's how much I thought that match was on par. My Too Sweet, and of course he's got to be Too Sweet, right? You know, he's at Bullet Club, so that's how Switchblade gets down. All right, Sin City, what was your Too Sweet for the week?
Oh man, so MJF, CM Punk, and Wardlow. We're gonna just put this out there, right? That just bottom line. Okay. First off, CM Punk comes out to his Ring of Honor music, Miseria Canter by AFI. Came out rocking the very similar gear to what he wore in Ring of Honor as well, okay. And which featured a lot of white. So you knew as soon as that happened that it was all going to be blood-stained red by the end of the match, and it was. These guys had an absolute bloodbath dog collar match that could make, you know, it definitely holds up to the Piper and Valentine's, to some of these other great quality matches. And I can already just tell, Michaels, you're rolling your eyes and upset that I'm saying it, but these guys had a very, very, very solid match, 26 minutes. And one reason why I threw Wardlow into this is near the end of the match, Wardlow came out to the ring to hand over the Dynamite Diamond ring to MJF. And only one problem is that Wardlow didn't seem to have the Dynamite Diamond ring on him. Obviously, this led to a distraction, which CM Punk capitalized on. And then you see the camera shot of Wardlow looking in the other pocket and mouthing "oops" as he places the Dynamite Diamond ring in the ring for CM Punk to use. CM Punk clocks MJF with the Dynamite Diamond ring, picks up the win. And Wardlow also ended up winning that Face of the Revolution ladder match too. So he's got his title match against Sammy Guevara, or whoever happens to be the TNT champion at St. Patrick's Day Slam. Dude, just very, very solid stuff by all these guys and really almost everyone on the show, top to bottom.
Awesome. All right. Well, it's time to have our this week WTF. Let's see who made it for this week. Veer Mahan is still coming soon.
So I got an update on that, DJ. And
Okay.
like a certain Dave Meltzer, I am a
Okay.
wrestling journalist. So my
Okay.
sources have told me the reason that Veer is it's been a elongated process is because he's currently in the Ukraine. So it could be a while before we see Veer.
Oh. Okay. Oh boy. Well, okay. You might want to check your sources, man. That's all I'm gonna say. You might want to check your sources. On the other hand, okay, you gave props to Ciampa wearing matching gear with Braun. No, I did not want to see Ciampa in a purple and pink wrestling gear. I'm used to Ciampa coming down. Sometimes you have that long black trench coat. Hey, I don't listen. I understand that this is the year of the Braun, but I don't need to see Ciampa moving over to these fluorescent colors, matching him at all. That is a WTF. I'm not digging that at all. Boo.
I like the gold and black, and I like the NXT the way it was.
I don't care. He needs to stay the way he is. Don't try to dumb him down. All right. Oh, and we should all know the rules. A lasting WTF. And this is just going out to you, Becky Lynch. You should know that you should never pull on no black woman's hair. Okay. And yes, you had Bianca's hair all through that show, wrapped around, tossing everything. By the way, Bianca, if you smart, whoever brand, whatever, you should just start promoting that. Because I'm telling you right now, that sister's looking at that going, man, you telling me she's doing all that pulling and nothing comes out, everything stays in place. I tell you, advertisement right there for you, Bianca. Send me the check. I only need about 5% and I'll be good. All right. But Becky Lynch should know better. And she got her ass whooped with the braid as well. So shout out to that. How about you, Mr. Sin City Steve? What was your WTF of the week?
So my WTF of the week, to be completely fair, WWE, AEW, and Impact all had very, very solid products this week. I think that we can easily say that. The only thing that I would mention, and there are a couple of things. So you've been building up this Malachi Black, Brody King, and Buddy Matthews act, the House of Black. And for what? So they have a pre-show match against Pac, Penta Oscuro, and Eric Redbeard, the former Eric Rowan. And keep in mind what I just said. That was on your pre-show. Realistically, these guys need to be on your main show. Without question. And it's something that I think that we're going to start to see the even more effects of AEW having too large of a roster and not enough slots to fit them in.
What? They're not using people the right way? Oh, well, they should get the fuck out of there then and go somewhere they'll be used.
Okay, cool. Yeah. See, I have no problems calling things out, unlike some people. Anyway, one thing that I do have to call out and literally say what the fuck about is Pete Dunne, NXT goldless in singles competition. So this guy is an amazing talent.
Yeah.
Amazing talent. And I'm not saying that he should have beaten Carmelo Hayes. I'm not saying that by a long shot.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is that this guy is one of the better workers on your entire show. And he's obviously shown how versatile he is. For him to not have a singles title run, and he's been around there for several years at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an indictment of so many things. But
yeah,
I don't think that it's going to happen. I don't think he's ever going to hold NXT singles gold, though.
Wow.
It's sad. And what the fuck?
Good point. Matt Michaels, what do you say?
This week I watched SmackDown before I watched Raw. And I'm watching SmackDown, and then I see this Jinder guy. I think Ginger, something,
Uh-huh.
Mahome, something like that. Like,
Oh boy.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Who's that guy?" And then I looked him up, and I'm like, "Oh shit, he has a job still." Wow. And then I started watching Raw, and I don't know if you guys have heard this T-Bar, something like that.
Right.
That guy has a job still.
Yeah.
Wow, what the fuck? Now, I'm glad you enjoyed that dog collar match, Steve, because the what the fuck moment isn't the match itself. It is why the fuck did you allow CM Punk to bleed on your fucking Wednesday show? Dumbest shit that I hate when fucking wrestlers think they know fucking the best way to do things. I'm going to cut myself. Why do I want to pay to see him fucking bleed now? I just saw it for free. Fuck it. Who cares? That's a problem. Just save the fucking shit for the pay-per-view. Don't bleed on free television. It's fucking dumb.
Wow.
There you go.
That's your WTF right there. All right. Let's get into the lookout. I know there's always something to look out for. All right. I'll throw it over to you, Matt Michaels, right quick. What are you looking out for?
Theory versus McAfee. It's going to be fucking, I think that's going to be a sleeper where people aren't going to think much of it. And then it's probably going to be a well talked about fucking match. Thank God that they're not allowing Vince to physically set foot in a ring.
Right.
I mean, it'd be like watching Sting wrestle. So I'm glad that they're not allowing him to do that. Man, Edge and AJ, I think that's going to be something that is just, something that is going to be talked about for a long time afterwards in terms of those two, and could be some of the last big moments of those guys' career. So that's what I'm looking out for.
All right. How about you, Sin City?
All right. So I'm really interested to see where Chris Jericho goes after his loss to Eddie Kingston tonight at AEW Revolution.
Well, the nearest bar is my first guess.
Hey, man, one thing that I have to give props to Jericho on is he definitely got rid of quite a bit of weight. And the easiest thing that I could think that he did was he laid off the booze. So, yeah, it's very interesting. They're definitely going through with the heel turn with him. It's going to be interesting to see how they take it. Is he going to go crazy that he lost to Eddie Kingston? What's going to be the fallout from that? Also, as I'd mentioned, Wardlow with MJF, of course, they're just going to be continuing to build that. And then, of course, the Moxley, Danielson, and now William Regal led faction. We got to see where this goes.
Well, I tell you, for mine is pretty easy. We would mention it before, the AJ Styles and Edge, man, sign me up. And by the way, Edge going straight heel, that turn, that was just beautiful. I mean, and it was so funny how it happened, because when he first came out, the first thing was going like, oh, that's interesting. So we're going to have two faces, two, good guys, kind of fighting. At least it's going to be a great match. I'm thinking to myself, and then it happened right there, and it was awesome. And Edge did such a wonderful job. And he is just, when it comes to promos, he's definitely, I would almost ready to say, you could say top 5. I'm almost ready to say top 3 of like king of promos, who can do anything, kick any type of promo and just sell it. If he had a class just for promos, you should take it if wrestlers was interested, because that's how you do it. The other one I'm most excited about is the return of Mr. Josh Alexander, who came right in after Moose won his match and went ahead and beat him down a little bit and just let Moose know that he re-signed a contract with Impact, and he'll be set up for that match at Rebellion. And I'm telling you right now, I'm going to be watching that. I'm going to be ordering that. I'm excited to watch Josh Alexander finally getting what he deserves, some payback. And this was an exciting time. I'm definitely going to be looking out for this, and you know, the shows leading up to this particular match. So that's that. All right, the best in show. Let's get to it as we're wrapping up, guys. Oh, well, man, that's not the right button for that. Let me hit the correct button for best in show. Oh, man. Best in show for me, I'll start it off. Impact Wrestling sacrificed this for this week. That it was everything, man. 3 title changes that happened. You know, Tasha Steele's now your Knockouts Women's Champion. Violet by Design, tag team champions. That's that was pretty shocking to see, but I'm with that. And yeah. You also have, like I told you, Josh Alexander is back. So I'm excited for that. All of the matches that wasn't a title match were also great matches. I mean, the overall pay-per-view was just awesome from top to bottom. So it's definitely the best in show for this week. But for Sin City Steve, what was your best in show this week?
If you don't know by now, I don't know what to tell you. AEW Revolution. This show was long. It was 4 hours plus an hour-long pre-show, so it was a 5-hour show. I happened to take in this show at a movie theater, which is actually one really cool thing that AEW is starting to do with their pay-per-view events. Paid $25, had a reclining leather seat, extremely comfortable, got great deals on concessions. If there is a movie theater in your area that's showing AEW pay-per-views, I highly recommend taking that up.
Absolutely. All right. How about for you, Matt Michaels? What was your best in show?
It's got to be Solo versus Gunther. That was just fucking great to see. Talk about 2 strong guys just putting on one hell of a show. It's funny you mentioned the theater, Steve, because you, of course, went to Cinemark. But Kevin Gill,
I was a mark in Cinemark.
Yes, you were. Kevin Gill put out a little thing on social media. He went to see it at AMC, and AMC apparently had the overrun at 8:15 Pacific time. So the pay-per-view cut off right as the main event was starting.
Wow.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And if it happened, most likely if it happened in one place, it happened across the country at AMC. So a bunch of refunds coming the way of the AEW fans who went to see it in theaters. So
hey,
go be a mark at Cinemark.
Well, thank God the fans wasn't rowdy, man. That could have been a riot, you know. Go put that show back on. I mean, come on.
Well, the problem is you can't. That's the problem with these computer. They get codes. They get like a key. And what happens on this is as soon as that key times out, the key's no good anymore. So you cannot go in and get a feed from anything. And that's the problem. And it happens if you go to see like a classic movie or some kind of special projection of a concert or something like that. That's how it runs. And if they don't have spillover timed in, you're out.
But if this deal was worked out with AEW, is there no one coordinating with the theaters to say that this is probably going to go till 9 o'clock? I mean, you know what matches you have.
Have you talked to AEW's front office? That's all I have to say about that.
Okay. Well played. Everybody, thanks for hanging out. That is our wrestling talk for tonight. If you're with us now, we're going to start our 3 count in just a second, and we ask you to join us on that as well. The topics are scrolling right below. If you're watching this live, it's going to be some really good topics. But if not, it will play or be available for download, I should say, on Tuesday. All right. So if you like, join us in just a few moments over there and throw your comments in, because I know you're probably going to want to jump in on these topics. With that, thanks for hanging out with us, and we will see you next week. Peace.